pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. And keeping our Purple Pants pit stop coverage of Amazing Race Season 38, Brooke and I are joined by one of our favorite teams this week, Jasmine and Courtney. Welcome to the podcast. How are you ladies feeling today?
Hi.
Amazing.
Thank you for having us.
They're so upbeat. I'm expecting them to be like, this sucks. I don't want to talk. Amazing. I love you guys. Honestly, I will just say, your humor, just at like the dark and twisty moments of your humor, I found amazing. Like, if we were in the hospital, somebody would be dead by now. It's like my favorite thing I heard this season so far. I was like, they are my people. You're
I was praying they weren't going to air that, but I was like,
why? That's amazing.
And also we knew they would.
I'll tell you right now, whatever you don't want aired.
Exactly.
I think, though, in the state of the climate of our country, right, I think that representation is so important, and having two strong Black queer women on our screens was something that was so uplifting and so important. And I think the fact that you guys never gave up, you were so supportive to each other, uplifting. Courtney, you struggled a little this week, but then when you remember that you had your mother as your angel and that she was with you, it really just touched my soul. What was that moment like for you?
Honestly, my mom has been my strength when she was here and even in her absence. That moment of struggling really reminded me, no matter what I'm doing, it's okay to not succeed the first time, because in life we've had so many accomplishments where it happens so easily, and there are times where that is not the case, and we have to give ourselves grace. And so in that moment, I had to let myself feel all of what I was feeling, because it was going to come out regardless. I felt like I was struggling, at Camhi, and I was doing my best, and that, I didn't want to let my partner down. I didn't want to let myself down. I didn't want to let the people that were rooting for us down. So it was so much to take in, but I'm so glad that regardless of all the teams being gone, that I stuck with it, because that felt so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was a joy to watch her. Obviously, I felt terrible that I didn't do it, but the thing about it is, regardless of me being the more sporty of the two, I knew she was going to do it. I know who she is. I know she's resilient. I know that we're both determined Black women. And when we start something, we're taught to finish it. We don't quit. And so that's what we did. So even when Han and Holden came, and even when Bernie and Kerrigan left, it was just a matter of, okay, let me keep myself grounded so that when she finishes, not if, when she finishes, I can be there to let her know I'm proud of you. When it was 3 kicks, okay, 4, I was in the back I was just oh my God.
You could hear
did
your
it.
gasping on the episode. It was actually fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I just have to say, watching you be support, because there are some people, we won't name names, Jonathan, who not necessarily are, and I love them, don't get me wrong, but that being said, I didn't know my partner, but there are teams where you know your person for a long time, you know their strengths, you know their weaknesses, and you know how they need to be cheered for or how they don't need to be cheered for. Just the way that you were so supportive from the sideline, because there's a time, this is one of them, where you're like, I probably could have done this faster, but unless they didn't show it, and I don't think this was the case, there was no point where you were like, why didn't I do it, or any sort of negativity. Just the pure positivity that you two had consistently, whether it was here or not getting a cab or your paper drying. Ladies, the paper drying and the bus driver driving away. Your just constant support and positivity for each other was just lovely to watch. And I just feel like sometimes the Amazing Race will air things that they find funny and just at your expense, but there was none of that, because I don't think you were ever at all either at each other at odds or negative with each other, and it was beautiful.
We were.
No, we
because that's what we do naturally. We pour into each other, and us being on the race really gave us that opportunity to really like work together in these unknown experiences and unknown places. Because even though we've traveled outside of the country, we had never traveled outside of the country together.
Yeah, this
so
was this was the
yeah.
first time. And something else that we'll share. Courtney is my first girlfriend. So this was in our relationship. Yes. And our relationship was the youngest relationship of everyone that was on the show. So like, even though we've known each other for 10 years, like in nursing school, you get to know people differently once you're in a relationship. And then we're all continuously growing, learning more about ourselves. So like, it's a beautifully complicated like thing of life, but like Courtney said, we pour so well into each other and know how to give ourselves grace and, just.
I've loved being with a giver. Like, I'm a giver and you partner with another giver. It's been a different experience because in my past, that hasn't been the case.
The takers.
Exactly.
Like how much and the other person is the gardener and the flower always takes. I get it. You got two givers, so everyone gets the feeling of love and support. That's you guys. I don't
even. They're the best, Brooke. I love them. Now, I clown a little bit. Now, Jasmine, I was looking at you when Courtney was trying to get it, and I was cracking up to myself because I was like, the lower Courtney got, the more balls she was hitting, and by the end, I was like, okay, Courtney, you was like so low to the ground, and I was like, yes, my sis got it. Now, as I watch the show, I feel like I'm connected to y'all. I feel like we see each other. We're our people. Now, when y'all was in Hong Kong, the way I was cussing that TV out because I was like, these cab drivers is going to make me catch a flight.
Sound like everybody in our family, okay? Like
my sister was like, "Do I need to call the embassy?" Girl,
they were trying to roll up for us, but we will say, give them grace because that was something that we could have done to have helped us in that moment. But with the pressure of like just trying to not fall too far behind, and that was leg one, right? And they hit us out the gate with that bun challenge. Like that was crazy. So, we were just trying to keep ourselves, together. And even before that moment, we had spoken to some of the taxi drivers in English and gotten a taxi with no problem. So it didn't connect right away that, oh, there's something different that we need to be doing, because that hadn't been the case up until then.
I have to say, me as a Black man watching, right? The first thing that jumped into my mind, and I loved how y'all didn't let that stop y'all. You continue to press through. You're like, how can we have? I saw the nurse in y'all. I saw like the charge nurse in y'all. Like, okay, this isn't working. What else can we do? How can we do it? I just love the process of elimination and the positivity that you still exuded. Because I would have been cussing. I would have been out there cussing.
I would have murdered somebody. I need to take a lesson from you two, because there are so many times, unfortunately, but it's kind of true, where something went wrong, whether it was the paper or the taxi or just the football or the being in last, whatever it was, that you could have gone off the rails and you would have been fully justified in going off the rails, but it never happened. Like, you just have this sense of inner peace and calmness. It might not be true, but that's what I'm getting from it. That just leads me to believe that this is actually genuinely who you are, because in your worst moments, you show who you are, and all you showed was positivity. So we're not asking anything. Let me ask you one thing. Okay. It's fine. So I'm sure you've had 600 interviews today, and we're doing a little something different. I don't know if you've watched anything that we've done, but we're calling it the Purple Plants +1. So is there anything that, without us asking you a pointed question, nobody else has asked you, or you want to get off your chest, or you want the world to know? Because I know you've probably been asked a lot of direct questions, but is there anything you want to share with the Amazing Race viewing public that you haven't gotten to say yet?
That is an amazing
question. Is.
Oh my God, thank you. Oh no, the answer is no.
While you think, is there anything you two learned about each other? Because, you said it was a new relationship. Was there something that you learned during the race?
So I am a fire sign.
I am a water sign.
Come on,
And
water sign.
listen, the way you communicate with each other can make or break how you're moving through the race. And so for me, you can be direct with me. It's perfectly okay. But with Jazzy, she's a flower.
Need it a little more gentle.
Yes. And so it's really important. That was something with us being the youngest relationship, how we communicated with each other was key.
Yeah.
And I knew that from the beginning because when we were home, you know, that's our cocoon. Yeah. We know how to ebb and flow, but we're in the unknown. That was different for us. It was a test of our relationship. It was like, oh, can we really do this? Can we really work together in these stressful, unknown situations? And I'm really impressed with us.
I'm beyond impressed. Yeah. Like, in spite of like, you know, how it looked or how the outcome, you know, unfolded, like we took a chance on ourselves, right? And for as many times in life that you hold yourself back from doing something because you're unafraid or you're doubting yourself or you've been disappointed before, like we didn't let that stop us from saying yes to doing the amazing race. Yes to people seeing us have moments. Yes to people seeing us make mistakes. And now it's like you feel so awakened. You feel so proud. And it's like, okay, what, like they say in the Bible, what do I have to fear now? You know, like what?
Oh, yes.
That piece that we had, like coming on the race, honestly, listen, you pack and you think like, because we're nurses, we did too much back then, okay?
But just trying to prepare for an apocalypse, like we needed to not.
It's really the peace that you store within yourself, all those things that you naturally do outside of the race, like, you know, with us doing yoga, meditation, like how we enjoy being out in nature. Nature absorbs negative emotions. So like all of those things, that's what really helped us the most because that's stored in your heart. That's not something
to try. Yoga, meditation, and nature.
And nature, Brooke.
If you haven't, the Balance app is something that we both do daily.
I don't have that, but I'm
free for a year. So try it.
Okay.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It's grounding for us.
Gosh, if anything, I've just learned to ground myself a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like if we could do it all over again after this moment, I would say yes.
Finally, it's a 3 times of being asked that to say yes.
You wouldn't. Your instinct wasn't immediately.
Mine was. What was yours?
Listen, when I like to travel like, you know, with ease, unhurried. Okay. Not racing with people on my neck. But no, honestly, the Amazing Race really is its name. It's amazing. You know, like we were able to be in places I don't think we ever would have on our own. Well, Jazzy, you did. You've been to Hong Kong. I have been to Hong Kong.
So that, Brooke, I guess is something that someone hasn't asked us before had we been there. So I had been to Hong Kong in 2016. Yeah. Me and two of my
did it help?
It did not. So let me tell you, it was me and two of my close friends from childhood. We were strolling through, people were taking pictures of us like we were Destiny's Child or something. You know, but it didn't help at all. And I actually, in fact, we visited Tian Tan Buddha, but it didn't, obviously in the moment of the race running up the stairs, I'm not like, oh, I've been here before. It's like, oh no, girl, it's a clue box. You got to go.
You don't see anything else. It's so real. It's you're like, there was a Buddha up there. I didn't even good to know. I learned that from watching the episode on television.
It helped.
You guys are a joy.
And it didn't help at all. It just gave me more memories of Hong Kong.
Well, and I am glad that you have now, Courtney, agreed to do it again because I think that you guys most certainly deserve to come back, if for no other reason, just for the peace and the joy that you brought me through my television screen.
Yes.
Thank you so much for just all of it. I hope we get to meet you in person sometime very, very soon.
That would be so amazing, y'all.
Listen, because when I like to travel too, Courtney, when I get to my destination, I need to relax, a cocktail, okay?
He jumps in a hot tub. He jumps in a hot
Maybe
tub.
have a little drinky drink.
Yes. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you too. We will surely see you soon. And your race is not over. I just want you to remember that your race is just beginning. It's been a pleasure, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for joining.
So much love. Thank you.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.